Cuba is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. This island nation with a population of over 11 million stands proud as the largest island in the Caribbean. There are many interesting facts about Cuba that make it an attractive destination. Cuba is popular for its rich history, culture, and music. It has so many beautiful places that will interest you. Cubans are one of the most friendly people in the world. It is a country with good proximity to the U.S. state of Florida. Despite being a small country, Cuba was famous for many reasons. One of the more infamous facts about Cuba is its policy on slavery. Many countries in the Americas were quick to abolish slavery whether willingly or reluctantly. Cuba is the second to last country in the American continent to abolish slavery. After centuries in 1886, Cuba finally abolished slavery. Cuba is not a place where snowfall is common. Snowfall is more of a miracle in Cuba, but guess what? Cubans have openly enjoyed the snowfall miracle once. March 12, 1857, was the first and last time in Cuba's history when they experienced snowfall. Although certain parts claim to experience snowfall once in a while, the only recorded and officially recognized snowfall in Cuba took place in 1857. There are many facts about Cuba, but this one stands out. Christmas is a tradition celebrated almost everywhere in the world, but for good 29 years, it was banned in Cuba. From 1969 to 1998, Cubans didn't have the luxury to celebrate Christmas. The Cuban leader at the time, Fidel Castro, prohibited any form of religious celebration. As you'd expect, though, some Cubans continued the celebrations. They celebrated under the radar as quietly as possible. Now, though, Christmas is back. In 1998, though, Christmas celebration was officially restored as a public holiday again to honor the Pope who visited the country. Here's one really cool fact about Cuba, although not entirely a surprise considering the culture and their love for dance. Cuba has one of the oldest and biggest ballet schools in the world. The school was established over 90 years ago, 1931, in the capital city of Havana. The first crop of students was about 3,000. It is no surprise that Cubans love ballet. Since 1966, the U.S. provides a quick path for Cuban citizens to get legal residency when they step foot on U.S. soil. Yeah, I know what you are thinking, it can't be that easy. Well, it is relative. As long as you do not take flight, but you go through land or sea, as a Cuban you are granted legal residency in the United States. During that time, the act was passed with the intention to help political refugees from Cuba. This has made the migration to the U.S. attractive to millions of Cubans. Although many in Cuba are still in despair as this act has allowed family and friends to jump ships and never look back. This initiative has, however, changed in 2017 by then-President Obama. Cubans now have to seek similar legal entrance into the country before being able to get a green card. Cuba experiences the introduction of the internet in the late 90s, and until internet in Cuba did not improve due to government restrictions and poor funding until 2007. Since 2007 the internet began to gain ground, and it was only in 2015 that public Wi-Fi hotspot was introduced. And the introduction was only in 35 locations. Although before that time government officials had access to Wi-Fi hotspots. The following year the number improved. As of 2018 over 500 hotspots are available in Cuba, providing good internet access to Cubans all over the island. Here's an important Cuban cultural fact: they love the good night. Cubans adore Christmas Eve, they refer to it as the good night. It is a time when they get together with families and have the main meal of the holiday while celebrating. Usually, the main meal is roast pork depending on the size of the family. Most Cuban families roast a whole pig. Often the meal is accompanied by vegetables, rice, and fried plantain. Cubans love plantain. Most families go stick together and go straight to Mass at midnight after they've finished eating their Noche Buena. Every culture and tradition has its superstitious beliefs, and Cubans are no exception. Another fun fact about Cuba is that they believe very much in the spirituals. One tradition Cubans uphold yearly is the New Year celebration. During this celebration, they burn dolls. Not every kind of doll though. Rag dolls are perceived to be bad luck, which invites terrible things. Cubans, especially those in the rural areas, burn these dolls on New Year's as a way to ward off evil and anticipate good fortune for the new year. Due to the climate condition of Cuba, root vegetables, and tropical fruits thrive there. One fact about Cuban food is that it almost always has a touch of rice or plantain. Cubans consume a lot of seafood, and it is no surprise considering it is an island country. Though Cubans love rice and plantain also. Tostón is one of the best ways to enjoy Cuban cuisine. The tostón is a twice-fried plantain. That said, Cuban food is truly a treat, so be sure to try out some of their delicacies when you visit. Taking alcohol regularly is not something for average Cubans. Alcohol is too pricey to be leisure for Cubans. The people love their homemade cocktails. Many Cubans prefer to use their recipes instead of buying liquor. The main ingredient is mainly aguardiente, a type of liquor made from sugar. This homemade cocktail is a staple for Cubans during festivals, dancing parades, music festivals, and hanging out with friends. It may not be suitable for every palate, so check before you gulp.